takes 3 minutes.
Over the age of 70, you do not test men for prostate cancer. It's just not recommended. You can't test for every
It is if you're the president of the United States and you've already had a test in 2014.
From ordinary human conditions? No, of course not. You can't test for every single disease at every single point of your life. Unfortunately, you just can't do that.
Throughout this debate, Destiny finds himself on the defensive after Dave Rubin and Michael Knowles start exposing inconsistencies and emotional deflections in his arguments. Everything from Trump and Biden's mental fitness to medical testing for presidents to James Comey's weird Instagram post that people claim might suggest a threat toward Donald Trump. What starts as a standard political panel quickly spirals into chaos as Destiny flips out and Dave Rubin and Michael Knowles hold their ground with sharp, pointed logic. Wajahat Ali is also in this debate as well, who leans more left. Let's break this down and watch this debate between Destiny, Dave Rubin, and Michael Knowles.
Destiny.
So you weren't paid by Russia. Okay,
Look,
good to know.
if you want to ask him on your own show and ask him those questions again and again, go and do it on your own show, Wajahat. Let me bring in Destiny. Destiny.
Fair enough.
Destiny, I do think this matters. Do you?
I'm going to be honest. I haven't followed the news recently, and I lose track of this sometimes. Right now, who's the president? Is it Trump or is it Biden? Because every single day I turn the news on, Trump is talking about Biden, the conservatives are talking about Biden, everybody is talking about Biden. It feels like that is the only thing that these people can ever talk about because they're trying to take away attention from Trump's disastrous econ policy,
there was a major
from the utter failures
Biden,
that he's
like
running into over and over and over again with all of the courts, with the insane arguments that they're putting in front of the Supreme Court, trying to get rid of things like birthright citizenship. But for some reason, we're talking about Biden again. Also, it's no surprise that conservatives are once again, there is no scandal. There is no evidence of any scandal whatsoever. It's just more conservatives demonstrating again that they know nothing about medicine.
There's no evidence of a scandal.
No, you don't need to explain anything. Well, I'm giving my answer to Pierre's question. You say the man wasn't competent to be president. I'm curious. Can you show me a single time when Joe Biden sat down and had EOs brought to him and explained to him that he'd never seen before, like we see Trump sign on an almost daily basis? One example of that.
Well, they didn't bring them to Joe Biden because an auto
Exactly.
pen
You have
did
no
it.
examples of that. No, you have no examples of that. Donald Trump is worse. Donald Trump is worse. That's great, but you can see videos of Biden explaining
Destiny,
what's
let me ask you a question.
Hold on. Let me finish my answer. For all of these people that are so concerned about Biden's health, everybody got so offended when Elon Musk was asked about his ketamine abuse. So they said we had no right into the minds, the drug use, or the medical records of people that might be involved in major parts of the government, that he was involved in dismantling huge parts of the government. He was the president's right-hand man. Just right there, we just heard another pivot, another abdication of responsibility. The reality is conservatives know nothing about medicine. All of you guys on here are saying it's totally common to test for prostate cancer past 50. It's not. Past 70, it's not recommended. Believe it or not, and I know in the movies and in the TV shows, it seems like you can test for every single thing at every point in time. You can't test for every single thing at every point in time. You don't do that because you get a lot of false positives.
He's the president of the
How long
United
does that
States.
PSA test take you? When you do that PSA test annually,
It doesn't
Piers,
matter.
how long does that take you? Is that a big problem for the doctor?
It takes 3 minutes.
Over the age of 70, you do not test men for prostate cancer. It's just not recommended. You can't test for every
It
single
is if you're the
disease.
president of the United States and you've
So
already
the
had a
president is
test in
somehow exempted from
2014.
ordinary human conditions? No, of course not. You can't test for every single disease at every single point of your life. Unfortunately, you just can't do that.
Okay, Michael, let me bring you back in here. I think, look, it's the conversation's been very revealing. Wajahat on massive distraction technique and Destiny basically saying old people shouldn't have tests that might save their lives.
Just to be clear, go to
interesting
Google,
arguments.
look up when do you test for prostate cancer? You don't test every single. You can Google it right now. Put it on the program. Everybody can type it in.
A PSA test literally takes 10 seconds.
Joe
You
Biden,
literally
who
have
now
an
has metastatic
a blood test.
cancer in his bones? Are you arguing they shouldn't have tested him?
It's a blood test. I bet the president of the United States probably has a weekly blood test. Probably. I'm guessing.
What do you think a blood test is? Do you think you can test for every single possible thing in your blood?
It is so easy to test for PSA. Your PSA literally is one thing. It's easy. Anyway, look, I want to move on from this to James Comey talking of wild conspiracy theories. Because call me bonkers, Michael Knowles. I don't mind what you call me. But the idea that a man who was the director of the FBI, the top lawman in America, was wandering along a beach and saw some seashells with the numbers 8647. And he had absolutely no idea before putting it on his Instagram that this might be interpreted as meaning a desire to kill President Trump. Here's his explanation on MSNBC.
Was there anything in the back of your mind that said, maybe I just shouldn't post this?
Yeah, no, literally nothing, because it seemed entirely innocent and clever to me. I have never, and actually still don't associate 86 with violence, but because I heard that some folks were, whether they do that reasonably or not, I don't want any part of it, and so that's why I took it down from my Instagram account.
This is horseshit, Michael. He's just lying. He's lying.
Look, I want to be as fair and charitable as I can. James Comey is a huge weirdo with artistic pretensions. Do you remember when the Robert Mueller investigation came out? James Comey took this bizarre photo of himself in the woods looking up at the sky. So I don't want to understate the chance that he's just a weirdo. However, you have to take the context here in. If he says, well, 86, to get rid of somebody, that doesn't imply violence. Okay, maybe he's just kind of ignorant and obtuse, but within the context of President Trump, who was nearly murdered twice, one time with a bullet hitting his ear, coming within a 20th of an inch of blowing his brains out on stage. When you have the entire Democratic Party, all the way up to Joe Biden, who predicated his presidential campaign on the notion that Donald Trump posed an existential threat to the country, that is to say, justifies his assassination. Within that context, Comey had to know. Either Comey is the dumbest person on earth, or he knew what he was doing.
Michael Knowles did not hold back here, and honestly, he's right. I don't know about you guys, but if you're the former FBI director posting 8645 while the former president literally survived, it's not just some random number. And yeah, Michael Knowles made that crystal clear. You can almost feel Destiny start sweating through the screen.
And I want to be charitable. I think you kind of know.
I don't want to be charitable. Sorry, Mujahid. This is bullshit. And you know it is, don't you? Come on, just admit it.
So, if MAGA does believe that James Comey was intentional in posting that and 86 means kill, then like I said in your last answer, I want everything to be fair and balanced. I'm trying to bring people together. Like you said in the last one, release every single information about Joe Biden's public health.
Do you believe James Comey when he says... Do you believe him when he Instagrammed the picture of 8647 to the former FBI director? I had no idea what that meant.
You're going to like my answer. You're going to like my answer. I'm fair and balanced here. If you truly believe, and if my co-panelists here, my MAGA co-panelists believe that James Comey intended that 86 meant to kill Joe Biden and you want to investigate him, I say fine. But then you also have to investigate Jack Posobiec. Oh, the MAGA dude who literally sold merchandise while Joe Biden was president.
I'm not talking about him, Mujahid. Stop the distraction.
Wait a second.
Focus on the stories.
Stop being a hypocrite. If you think 86 means to kill, then you have to prosecute Jack Posobiec, who was making money off of mercerndice that's at 86.46 while Joe Biden was president. Then you have to also investigate Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz, let me finish. Matt Gaetz said 86, not Democrats. Matt Gaetz said 86 Republicans, including Mitch McConnell, right? So, and Kevin Johnson. So, maybe if you want to prosecute James Comey, I'm being fair. If you want to prosecute James Comey, you got to prosecute Jack Posobiec.
But once again, Mujahid, you're not answering my simple question. Do you believe Comey or not? Yes or no?
I do not believe that James Comey and the overwhelming majority of people who liked that thought that it meant killing Donald Trump. The person who tried to kill Donald Trump was a Republican, a Trump supporter, a gun nut. It means 86. If anyone's worked in restaurants or is a waiter, 86 means to cancel an order. So if you believe 86 means to kill, then you got to prosecute Jack Posobiec and Matt Gaetz.
The reason that's not an apt comparison is because we're not saying in all contexts 86 always means you want to murder somebody.
Yeah,
we're saying that in the context of Donald Trump,
you guys are getting desperate.
Literally murdered twice.
You guys are getting desperate. Donald Trump is underwater, Michael and David. In that case,
you guys are getting really desperate. You guys keep bringing up that they tried to kill Donald Trump twice. You know what else happened twice? He got impeached twice as well. So maybe 86 could be the third impeachment attempt.
All right, Dave Rubin.
All right. Well, first off, I'm really amazed by Wajat's authenticity and honesty. It's really quite remarkable, and I'm sure nobody can see through it.
Russia didn't pay me. Just me.
The guy should have a pin over here. I told the truth. It's really incredible. The other thing about 86, and I'm impressed. I doubt you ever worked in a restaurant. I did, and yes, it's true. If they don't have the porterhouse anymore, you 86 the porterhouse. That means you don't have it anymore. So the waiters know when they're going out there. But the other thing that the 86 came from was the 86 86th floor on the Empire State Building. And do you know what the 86th floor on the Empire State Building is? That's the observation floor. And that's where the mafia in the old days used to take guys that owed them some money and toss them off the roof of the Empire State Building. That is a fact. You can also check that on Grok or ChatGPT or whatever your favorite search engine is. Now, as to whether he meant literally when he was just wandering the beach and he magically sees these numbers and thought it was artistic and whatever else, as to whether he actually was trying, as the former FBI director, to instigate someone to kill Donald Trump, I can only leave that up to what is going on in his heart and in his soul. I suspect that's not the truth. I also am not somebody that wants to jail everybody for a bad joke or a stupid picture or anything else. So whether it was any of those people that you just mentioned that had done that previously, I'm not for jailing the guy for it, but I think we can call a spade and know that if the shoe was on the other foot, these people would be going absolutely crazy. Yeah. So I think this one is pretty clear.
No question. Okay,
maybe
Destiny.
They should wear a MAGA hat. Maybe wear a MAGA hat and try to 86 the election and try to take out Mike Pence, you know, like the violent insurrectionist that Donald Trump pardoned and now has given $5 million.
I tell you what,
I admire that.
If there was an Oscars ceremony for playing whataboutery, you, my friend, are the Daniel Day-Lewis.
Hypocrisy.
Of the whataboutery Oscars.
All of this is a whataboutery. All of this is a whataboutery away from Donald Trump's presidency. Anything to discuss anything besides the multiple times he's referenced the Second Amendment, but besides the time he tweeted out the video of the tied up Joe Biden in the back of the truck.
It's a TV show, and they were doing a segment about what the former FBI
there's always an excuse. There's always a reason.
Best supporting whataboutery winner is you, Destiny.
So yeah, if you watch this full debate, it's obvious. Destiny just couldn't keep up. Dave Rubin and Michael Knowles didn't even need to shout or get emotional. They just brought logic, receipts, and some real talk. Destiny, on the other hand, got loud, messy, and honestly, kind of embarrassing. He got wrecked, plain and simple. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below. Thanks again for watching, and take care.